There was also something else we have to talk about, a war veterans protest where veterans of current wars threw away medals during a NATO Chicago summit. This was not covered too much by national media, did get some local media coverage. Let's take a look and listen at some of what's going on here. And Lewis, this has not happened since Vietnam, where we have seen a scene like this, where veterans are throwing their medals and denouncing their previous service. Let's take a look.
Instead of liberating the people, I was liberating their oil field.
One by one, they tossed them. Medals of honor, medals of service, it didn't matter. These war veterans didn't want them anymore.
And I have one word for this global war on terrorism declaration, and that is shame.
This group of veterans wants the war in Afghanistan to end.
These medals don't mean anything to me, and they can have them back. Woo!
One by one, the vets took to the microphone, made a statement, and then threw their medals in the direction of McCoy.
Okay, let's discuss this. Some people would call these actions cowardly. Others would call these actions heroic. Different people probably than the ones that would say every soldier is a hero. What do you guys think?
I think I'm going to get into a bad situation here. Everyone's different, though. Obviously, a lot of soldiers take a lot of pride in receiving these medals. But I have to say, I think regardless of your stance on the war, if you're a soldier who does not care about those accolades, then I think that makes you a better soldier.
Is it if you don't care about the accolades you'll receive based on what you do?
Right.
Well, but there's a difference between that and then after the fact saying, you know, I actually reject this and I'm going to actively get rid of it because I don't like what it stands for. That's a different thing than when you're in the action thinking, oh, you know what? What I'm doing right now I might get a medal for. And what's your reaction, Natan? I mean, generally these types of protesters are not particularly well seen by the moderate and conservative community, members of the military, etc., even though there's a pretty good case to be made that Iraq was a huge mistake and people who ended up serving there, maybe they shouldn't be particularly happy about what they did during that time.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been a war that I can think of in this country since the Second World War where it's such a clear-cut thing of everyone's going to support the troops because we agree with the cause. What I would say is that when we say supporting our troops and we have the little ribbon on our well, not us personally, but people have them on their bumper plates, on their bumpers. It seems to me like one way of supporting the troops is to only send them into combat when we can agree that the cause is justified.
That hasn't been done.
So I don't think it's supporting the troops to send troops into a war where then they, some of them, come back and say, you know, what we did here is, as this guy said, liberate their oil fields, or, you know, we didn't actually, it wasn't worth the cost.
Well, sure, and if one person says it, you can't say that therefore it was the wrong thing, but we have wide-standing evidence from lack of WMDs, no connection to between Saddam Hussein and 9/11.
But it's not just that. It's the soldiers and, you know, more than half the country that disagrees with the war in Iraq. So
no question.
I think we're talking about a large segment of the population not agreeing with this war. That wasn't the case during World War II, for example.
You think any of these guys will regret participating in this, throwing away those medals in a few years, in a few days? Somebody's
probably not.
No?
I think if you're taking part in this, it's pretty clear that how strongly you feel about it. I mean, I doubt their views will change on it.